esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation. esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.
Hi guys, welcome to StarLadder Hearthstone kickoff season. I'm Jakub Przegulski, with me Kaldi. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Yeah, we're looking forward to these matches. We have a StrifeCro versus Stancifka coming.
Yeah, we have a killer opener today. But first, let's talk a little about the tournament, how it looks, and what it is actually. It's just 16 people competing in this tournament. This is the first season of StarLadder Hearthstone tournament. The prize pool is $9,900, and we'll have group stage because it's 16 players divided into 4 groups. And those are double elimination groups, best of 5 conquests, so the usual stuff. But we had open qualifiers for 4 spots, if I'm not mistaken. And the first open qualifier was at 11 June. It was made by Gosu Gamers. 512 players participated in it, and the winners were Calax or Cala from France, and from Great Britain it was Ball Control. And then we had a second invitational qualifier played in Russia and Ukraine, basically, because we had 16 players invited from that region. It was Pavel, Draco, Nick Cheaper, Frycook, and then Razakoman Lucky and other players from that region that played in a gruesome tournament for the last spots. And then we had our groups, and the first group will be StrifeCro, Skolento, Stancifka, and Calax. The group B will be Orange, Neira, and Xixo and Lostov. So the open qualifiers players will be always taking the last spot in the groups. The group C and D are not yet decided, but the first one that we'll be seeing today is the group A with StrifeCro, Skolento, Stancifka, and Kala.
Should be excellent. Yeah, Kala is actually from Imaginary Gaming, a big French team here. So this should be really exciting. Talking about Pavel and Frycook and then those players, they may not be as known to the wider audience, but they've been doing excellent online, dominating, for example, in the Divinity qualifiers. A lot of Russian players doing really well in that, but the visa seems to be an issue so far, so they've been having trouble attending events. But yeah, for this first match here, StrifeCro been absolutely dominating recently, and Stancifka, probably one of the hottest players in Europe the past 2 or 3 months now, coming off a win at DreamHack Bucharest, and he did okay in DreamHack Summer as well, so should be exciting here.
Well, DreamHack Summer was kind of rough for him when it comes to pairings. You know, he started off with some pro players, so it was kind of rough for everyone. But you know, at 128 Swiss tournament isn't easy, as you know too. It was a hard time for you too, right?
I faced 7 difficult players. Yeah, it's in chess we have a term called like monorot gambit, which is the same system as Swiss almost. And tactic there is you lose the first one, and then you get like a slightly easier pairing, and then you win like 5 in a row. You know, so instead of like having winning non-stop, you get like an easier opponent almost every round because you lost the first one. So first up, we're gonna have Stancifka versus StrifeCro. StrifeCro with Hunter, Warlock, and Mage, and Stancifka with Warrior, Warrior, Mage, Priest here. I think StrifeCro may have been looking at DreamHack Summer because in general, Patron didn't do that well overall. I mean,
it was still a powerful deck though.
Absolutely, but a lot of the players that made it far, at least, seem to be almost countering it. And we see now Priest coming down. I wonder if that's actually going to be like a counter. I could see it doing very well against Mage, for example.
Priest. Well, I have no idea what Priest can be. You know, it's like when you play ladder, the usual Priest you see are practically non-existent, and that's the problem with the Priest. It feels like it's so out of meta.
Recently, it's been, I guess, people have been throwing away the Injured Blade Master, which was a staple for about over a year and a half, and they've been adding like one Death Lord. There's one Light Bomb in the Priest now. Harrison Jones and Lothar.
So it's more of a counter deck, you can say.
I guess so, yeah. They've been speeding it up a bit. We're still, getting a strong matchup against Hunter. Because before, when you had kind of a slower one with mind control, you used to run into problems of a strong start from the Hunter. And if you aren't getting a free win against the aggro decks, it's not good at all, I think, overall. So we saw Colento actually win a huge LAN in France with Priest recently and doing extremely well in the KPL as well. So there haven't been many other players that have been able to replicate that performance, but we'll be interested to see if Stancifka can actually pull one through here.
That's true. Well, I'm looking at his deck list, and Mage, Warrior, and Priest. This doesn't look like a at first, when you take a first glance at someone's classes, sometimes you can say, okay, he wants to counter Patron, he wants to counter Hunter, he wants to counter, let's say, Mage or other classes. And in this situation, Mage has 3 iterations which can be used. So Freeze Mage, Mech Mage, and
just the mint one, now with the Flamemaker that's been really popular recently.
Exactly, and then we have Warrior with Patron version and Control, and then we have a Priest, which is a big unknown. So I have no idea what Stancifka's plan might be here.
If I had to guess, I would guess that he's probably running Control Warrior, maybe a Freeze Mage and or I guess a Control Mage and let's say a Priest with 1 Light Bomb. And maybe the idea, it seems to me to be, I guess, you're excellent against like a slower Hunter, you're excellent against Patron and hope to run into one of those. But from StrifeCro, we see Hunter, Mage, and Warlock. Now, I'd bet that the Warlock is probably a Malygos lock. Be interesting to see with the Hunter, as the EU players have been favoring slightly more the hybrid Hunter. I played them myself this weekend, and while the NA players like Jab, for example, and Mercy have been favoring the mid Hunter, which saw Amas, for example, do really well with that over the weekend. So I think maybe it's slightly likely to be a mid Hunter, but the Mage is kind of an unknown. Yeah, if I had to guess, I would say it's probably a Flamemaker, but we have seen some mech recently as well.
That's true. Also, interesting fact that Stancifka was playing Giants Mage during DreamHack Summer, so it might be also this one. And this is a deck that is very interesting to cast. So I really hope that he's playing that deck again.
It's very confusing as well to play against. You often don't find out until like round 3 or 4. But you often get just so surprised because it may look up to like round 7 if the guy is lucky. It may look like a freeze bet until round 7, and then you like pop his ice block and just lose immediately.
Yeah, because
unless you're a Hunter,
4 Molten Giants played for 4 mana. It's kind of obnoxious when you think about it. It's like you can play 2 Molten Giants, anti-heal bot, a Curve Medivh, and then additionally played additional health bots. You still have like 2 or 3 in your deck. Still have Molten Giants. You can't really attack into him again, and he's threatening lethal with his Giant on board. So it's really, really hard deck to play against.
Yeah, you feel like you're slightly ahead, I guess, with, feels like you're playing against freeze mates and you're slightly ahead, but then you find out that you're actually really far behind and almost on the brink of losing in one turn. So it's really swingy, I'd say. Should be
the same strategy was seen for Contra Warrior with Molten Giants and the old Warzone Commander, because it was basically the same situation, right? You drop him to a certain point of health and then you instantly lose because it just wrecks you in one turn. But in this situation, there's no charge for the Molten Giant, so he has to get that one additional turn, usually with the ice block.
Yeah, definitely remember that old school thing. About a year ago, the Warzone Commander was give a minion charge, just flat, no damage reduction or anything. So what people would do would that, they wait and draw, play shield blocks and slams, etc. And then you'd actually drop a Warsong, drop like 2 Moltens, and then you'd run 2 or 3 Pandas, and you'd bounce them back and play them again. So you get a fresh Giant with charge for 0 mana again. It was really probably about the strongest deck, I have to say, overall. You'd actually also run, you'd run the Gore Howl and Alex Traza as well. So
yeah, that was the second win condition.
So you'd actually equip the Gore Howl, and then you'd be able to, it was 0 mana, I believe. 0 mana just charge for that charge spell, actually. So you could actually take him down from 30 if you had a Gore Howl equipped.
Yeah, that was really totally overpowered, and I'm really happy that this deck got nerfed, but I'm kind of sad that it doesn't function anymore, because I would love to see it more, but that doesn't really, that's not the case anymore. But let's see what's going on in the players. They both are playing Tempomate. No, wait, that's duplicate. Someone cast duplicate on the hands, because we see two times mage, and there's a warrior for StrifeCro. Wait.
Looks to be Armor Smith. That could be either or here. Seems like we're jumping out of the game,
I guess there was some technical problems, so we'll be right back with that.
I guess to talk about the game cards we saw Mechanical Yeti, and that could definitely be used for the Flamemaker Mage to kind of combo, combo with the damage. Hope it doesn't use it on the Flamemaker with that bounce. We saw that recently happen. It doesn't work if you bounce the Flamemaker, I guess, but it should be interesting to see. Recently, at least on the EU server, people have been kind of moving away from the Mech Yeti because it seems a bit too slow compared to a few others. What's your opinion on Mechanical Yeti in
Mech Mage? Oh, yeah. Mechanical
Mage.
In Tempo Mage. Well, I kind of like it, because if you play with Antonidas and with cards like Manaverms and Flamewakers, then you can drop like Clockwork Gnomes, which has when you think about drops, Clockwork Gnome has a really low impact on the game, and Mechanical Yeti is a 4/5 minion which can deal like 8 damage by itself, and then still power up your win game conditions, like let's say Antonidas or Flamewaker. And I think I really like what I'm trying to say is that I really like Mechanical Yeti and Toshli in Tempo Mages, and basically that's it. That's my private opinion.
Yeah, that's not to agree with that. So we're jumping back into the game now. So we see Flame Cannon, Flamewaker. So this should definitely be that. We are on round 2 now. Looks like the Mad Scientist might be coming down. It's a bit awkward because the Fiery Warx will kind of wreck him here. Maybe Unstable Portal is even safer. You could go like Unstable Portal and then coin out perhaps.
I would say that the Flame Cannon is also an option, because when you have like a Flame Cannon on a 4 HP minion option with 100% sure to hit it, actually, I think this is a great opportunity just to kill it, because then on 10-3 you still have Flamewaker, Flamewaker coin to kill a Taskmaster, do if needed or whatever will be played on board. And in this situation, as I said, the weapon can swing the game back, and you still have to do something on the board with the board. Well, you have the option of Flamewaker coin Flame Cannon, but do you really want to use that when there's no more minions on board?
That's true. Yeah, it looks now like StrifeCro is trying to get rid of that Mad Scientist so he doesn't draw the second secret here. It'll be a bit awkward now, because now technically he wouldn't be good to use the Flamewaker right now. Probably be better to save it for 1 turn maybe and get the coin plus a spell. But I would actually like to see Arcane Intellect here. If you could draw into like a Sorcerer's Apprentice, it could be really, really devastating.
Yeah, that would be. I think that that's the best option here to play the Arcane Intellect. It fit the mana curve, and you still have more options for next turn. And then turn 4 can be Flamewaker, Coin, Flame Cannon just to kill the armor stuff. But it might be a problem if Stancifka just plays a Acolyte of Pain, because then you can't really coin out the Flame Cannon. Because there's a chance you will ping the Acolyte of Pain, right? So it's really awkward. That's why I would like to see the Flame Cannon on turn 2 instead of the Mad Scientist.
So we see Mana Worm and Acid Drake, not really what he wants. He would really like to see, I guess, a Mirror Entity or something like that. But I think in this case, you know, if the board doesn't change, he may be forced to go for the Mechanical Yeti first. As I mean, if he goes for the Flame Cannon and Coin now, it would be kinda used. So we see Warsong Commander, okay.
So we know that this is Patron in this situation, and the Warsong Commander is a really nifty move, because if you don't deal with the Warsong Commander, you can instantly lose next turn, right? It's so powerful, you can't really leave it on board at all, because it's turn 5 in a second, so you also can't play anything with 2 attack or 1. So Mana Worm, Flamewaker is out of the question.
Absolutely, and now it'd be interesting to see. Will you just have to go for the 50-50 on the Flame Cannon? I could possibly... This is actually a really tough one.
Yeah, it is. It is, because if you... Well, there's a chance you will hit both, right? You play Flamemaker, Coin, you see what's going on, but playing Yeti is... I think it's more reliant, because, you know, it's not 2 HP, it's not 2 attack, so it's not weak to patrons. The only situation when it will be weak to patron is an inner rage patron.
Overall, yeah, it seems, let's say he would drop the Mana Worm and the Clockwork, and if there's a patron in the hand, the game is simply over. It feels like, but I think I like the Yeti here. I think this isn't the time for the Flamemaker, but overall, it's looking a bit rough for StrifeCro, I have to say here at game number 1.
Well, you know, you play a tempo-based deck, and you didn't play tempo on turn 2. I guess that's the problem, because you're losing the whole turn just to play a flame cannon that can miss. You know, this is not what you want.
It feels like the Fiery Warlock was the hero of the day here. It feels like it took out two minions early on, and such a
and you lost the tempo
card. Yeah,
exactly. You lost to a tempo card from Warrior, which should be the other way around. You should be stealing tempo against the Warrior.
It can get a bit awkward. At least StrifeCro has the coin, which is huge for this matchup. If you don't have the coin, you're really in trouble. As this one, but maybe he can just pull on a stable portal. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
I think to note actually, they just changed a few of them. They changed the Baron Geddon, for example, in the last patch, which was quite interesting to see. So we've seen Inner Rage coming down, a Battle Rage. All right.
So he has no floating Berserker, and he has... Oh, look at that. He has one. So he did draw it from the Battle Rage, right?
I like to put on the Armor Smith there. That's actually... But did he get the attacks off here?
Yeah, I'm sure he got it. Wait! Yeah, he got it. Okay, that was close.
This is actually huge. Now you can probably clear... I think this is an... 100%,
Yeah, this is excellent now for StrifeCro. My guess here is that
it's the flame cannon first, in this case, absolutely.
Yeah, but what I think is Stanisław didn't assume that there's a flame cannon because he didn't saw it on turn 2, you know. Oh, twice to the face with the Flamewaker. Now this might be a problem. You can't really play also the spare part, because it then breaks your stealth. So it's only like 2 damage randomized.
That's actually a really good point. Yeah, you need to hit all 4 of them. So this is actually looking a bit rough.
Yeah, if StrifeCro would have hit with at least one of those at first, then it might have a chance of actually doing something. But in this situation, this is really horrible. And
I wonder if
this will not
knows,
work. This will not work.
I think StrifeCro probably knows about popping out stealth. It's kind of like Ragnaros. You can't really stealth Ragnaros.
Yeah. I guess now he knows it. Like he was thinking about it. So. Wow.
Pain here. I mean,
So he should have.
Could be excellent, yeah, later in the game if he draws on Tenaris or something. But I feel like this Flamemaker mage is a bit hit and miss. You always almost beat a Hunter every single game, but yeah, I faced Impact for example this weekend, and he had 2 Azure Drakes on turn 4 and 5, and it just didn't work for him as the tempo was so slow in that case. Yeah,
I think that StrifeCro's plan changed mid-game. I mean mid-turn, because if he wanted to play a one mana drop, it should have been Manaverm. Like Manaverm, Flamewaker, Coin, Flame Cannon, an example, right? Because then the Manaverm is more useful and the Flame Cannon still has the same chances of killing anyone. So this might be a really tough situation for StrifeCro here.
I think I still like his plan of I guess going for the Flame Cannon first, because if he hits the Frothing, he gets a full clear, but it's a bit risky though. What do we see now? We can actually see almost probably a full clear with the Flamewaker here. But is it time to go for the second?
Well, Flamewaker into Unstable Portal, into Attacked Phase and Stealth? It's kind of rough, because you have to kill the Floating Berserker like 100% sure.
I mean, he could possibly just go for like a Flamewaker spare part and look where he hits, and if he doesn't hit, he could, just finish up with a hero power or even gamble on second Unstable Portal, although a bit riskier, I guess. But I think
you can also check the spare part first, right? You sacrifice the Clockwork Gnome. Maybe you get a more useful one. That's interesting.
Yeah. Exciting game, a lot of RNG in this one, so we see.
Yeah, that's true. And now, yeah, exactly. Now we'll get a second, which might be not the worst one. He can't use it.
He may need to drop it on the mana worm. I think that's actually a better move than lose to Flamewaker, because it's likely that he has a death
No, that doesn't work. Oh.
Ooh.
Well, maybe that's actually planned for StrifeCro to actually, bring it back, because it has value next turn. With the Unstable Portal, right?
Overall, the tempo is not in his favor. I think.
Yeah.
At this point, I think. This point it'd be probably just in every case better to go for the boom next turn. I have a StrifeCro, but it's actually with this board it's quite strong. That's
really rough for StrifeCro here. It's really rough because he just got the two worst spare parts possible from the Yeti and from the Clockwork Gnome.
I think now if you take the the idea of counting cards in blackjack, you always want to bet when there's only the good cards left in the deck. And so far, the minions we've seen from Stancifka have been very low cost. So if you were to put a mirror entity now, would probably be the time to do it, as he's kind of thrown away all of his cheap minions.
That's true. That's a good point.
But he definitely wants to play it safe and go for the hero power. So free imp gang boss. Wow, a huge draw here for StrifeCro.
Huge swing card also against.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wait. That's actually horrible.
It might be horrible, but he's been kind of giving the situation that he doesn't have the combo. It's hard to say though.
The second Warzone commander into Patron. Oh no, this is horrible. This is actually happening. Look at that. This is the worst scenario for StrifeCro. There will be a full board of patrons and you will have nothing left. The Unstable Portal is just losing the game here.
Seems to be the case. It's like when you hit the Hunter Creeper, you just keep on rolling with those.
Yeah, exactly.
Ouch.
This is horrible for StrifeCro.
And that's
well,
probably
he went for the risky part, but didn't work out in his favor at all. If there will be no Flame Strike, this is game.
Can't imagine him pulling back from this. He can kill 3 patrons, but you probably want to kill the Warzone commander over a full patron here.
You definitely have to kill the Warzone commander. It's like the biggest threat here.
By the way, that's actually Then he's 2 of lethal, but he has the death spite, so looks like StrifeCro is going to end up taking game 1 here. Oh, it was actually reversed. So StrifeCro is the warrior. I see. Okay.
You sure of that? Because we saw it differently.
Yeah, it seems to be flipping now.
I'm almost sure that StrifeCro is playing the mage. Because we saw the nicknames without the hood.
I believe though in the opening, actually StrifeCro wasn't the one that was playing a warrior. Yeah, we see. Okay, so it's Stancifka on the warrior and StrifeCro on the mage to confirm. Stancifka looks to be taking game number 1 here.
It looked really rough for StrifeCro. The RNG didn't work in his favor, but I still think the turn 2 when he didn't play the flame cannon might have cost him the game, because then the double inner rage were basically trading for free with the mechanical Yeti, and that was a huge problem for him.
We're getting word that there was some minor technical difficulties that have been fixed in terms of the overlay, but so we see Stancifka now 1-0 up after game number 1. I think, StrifeCro's idea is sound. It's the thing we also used in StarCraft, that if you are ahead, you don't need to take any risks and you can play safe. But if you're behind, like StrifeCro was at the time, you are more inclined to take risks. But it didn't end up paying for itself here in game number 1. I wonder what he'll end up going for. We see Mage and Priest left, and generally Priest would be one of the better ones to deal with the Playmaker overall. I mean, if it's running the Light Bomb and no Arcana, he may be in trouble, but I could see, Arcana Circle just be devastating against Playmaker mates.
That's true, but at least there's Patron already out of the game for StrifeCro. Well, I think he didn't really want to counter the Patron. Most of the players are also usually ignoring Patron, just giving the win and going to aim for other decks, for other decks to target to.
Yeah, it seems to be about 2 variants to this. We have, I guess, the more controlly players did hard counter Patron, and the more aggressive players did ignore the Patron completely. And I don't know, it's maybe like 1/3 of the players are playing Patron at the moment in the top tournaments. It was almost every single player about a week ago, but now it's turning a bit towards that idea. But I think, looking at the decks that are left, StrifeCro may have to go for the Hunter.
You think so? Well, I'm still admiring the idea that the Conquest is fully random when it comes to opening decks. So I'm usually just rolling a dice which deck to open with, because that doesn't really put me in a spot when my opponent can predict my next move,
That's definitely a good idea in terms of that. There's one other approach that I'm kind of also a fan of, and that's, I guess, picking a deck that requires the least amount of information. So let's say you're playing Handlock, you need a lot of information possibly, because if you're facing a Handlock mirror versus a Sue, you can mulligan completely differently. So whereas if you're playing, let's say, a Face Hunter, there's maybe minor differences, or Sue, let's say, minor differences, but in general, you can kind of have a 90% mulligan against any deck without knowing which type of deck it is.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. I like that idea a lot.
So now we are going into game number 2. We have StrifeCro with Warlock and Hunter left, and Warlock, Hunter, and Mage even, and Stancifka with Mage and the Priest here.
I'm really hoping that the Mage will be the Giant's Mage, and it is.
Indeed.
Wow, that's awesome. It's really awesome, and StrifeCro seems to be playing I'm guessing Malygos Warlock.
Looks to be that, yeah. I actually played 3 out of the 7 players that had Malygos Warlock. We were doing really well overall this weekend. The one deck that seems to be really strong against it, though, is Rogue. And I was playing Rogue this weekend. It really did work in every match except televised one, actually. It just fell completely flat. That's always how that goes, right?
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
So we see, I guess, kind of an anti-aggro hand here for StrifeCro. We had to kind of assume that he was expecting more aggressive Mage from here. So we see StrifeCro is the Warlock at the top and Stancifka is the Mage at the bottom. Now, looking at Stancifka's options, I think you just pass here overall. I mean, I don't see any play making a lot of sense other than passing.
Yeah, that's very true. Stancifka is the same type of player as Life Coach. He wants to think about his turn 2 and 3 when he has time on turn 1, because you will never have exact you will never have exact information about your opponent's deck list and options during his turn. So you want to analyze those during your turn. So even when your play is obvious, you just want to take your time and fully analyze the board state.
It's always a delicate mix in that case. You know, you have let's say you're taking a test, you know, which often a Hearthstone feels like. If you don't take enough time, you may miss a detail that you really needed to know. But if you take too much time, you may kind of start to overthink things and you know, talk yourself out of the best play or the best answer, you know. So that's also an idea here. I wonder if, I'm not sure I would like the Sun Fury here. It's just an interesting one.
Sun Fury, I guess it falls weak to Dark Bomb and Mortal Coil, so I wouldn't definitely not play it. I wouldn't definitely play it. I think it's just might even coin out Acolyte of Pain, you know?
That could definitely be like my idea. I think it's definitely a good one. But the reason I'm more leaning towards just hero powering is because he has the Emperor. It could really like speed him up a whole turn. I'd say because he could coin out the Emperor. That's my only idea in terms of that. But if he didn't have the Emperor, I would probably recommend just coining out the Acolyte here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now we'll see what Stancifka does. And he goes for the hero power, as you said. So he wants to keep that Emperor for 10-5 with the coin.
Now we see the Malygos. I was, when this deck just came out, I was testing with Hyped from Tempo Storm. Had really awesome games. But it felt like in one of every 3 games, you didn't draw both Malygos and Emperor because you need the combo really to get that burst. You can burst 25, you know, on a good day easily from hand, you know, with Malygos and Emperor. But yeah, it seemed to be like 1 game in 3, let's say. You got either cut at the bottom. It would be worse to get Malygos at the bottom, but if you got at the bottom, you really ran into a lot of trouble, especially against like Control Warrior example. You couldn't just burst him down with the dragons.
Yeah, and sometimes just drop Malygos, like if you have a taunt on the board and you just drop it in like a hard cast without any real spell, because if there's no execute and there's like only possibility of cutting him down from the board state, then you win next turn even without the Emperor.
Absolutely, yeah. It also turns like, let's say, Mortal Coil into, you know, 6 damage, and you can like Mortal Coil a Sludge Bowser or Emperor or something. Yeah,
yeah, that's really insane. That's really insane, and what's funny is that this deck can even win against Zoo just by dropping the Malygos with Mortal Coils for like 0 mana, you know, like a turn 8 after you played Emperor. It's really insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely here. And we see him just hero powering again. Maybe he's afraid of overdrawing in that case, you know, if he drops Acolyte, but I think...
Well, if he drops 1 by 1 card by playing the Acolyte, he has 6. So overdrawing would have... There's a possibility of overdrawing, actually.
I think he just wants to guarantee that at least he's getting 2 cards out of the Acolyte, but that also... Because it's almost guaranteed that StrifeCro will be able to, you know, kill the Acolyte, I'd say, but... If he waits too long, he may run into the trouble of overdrawing. So we see the Defender coming down, not what he'd want to do. I think he would definitely have preferred to play like a Tfala Drake in this case. I wonder if StrifeCro realizes that this is Echo Mage, because it's playing like a Freeze Mage 100% until now.
Yeah, that's true. If StrifeCro paid attention to DreamHack Summer, he might have a suspicion of this happening, you know? But from what I have seen here, it might actually be not the case, because StrifeCro seems to a little bit like a little bit out of ideas. Because why would you play the Defender of Argus just like this?
It's probably like a aggressive you can get, yeah. In this case,
yeah, it's like a play against a Freeze Mage. That's first of all, or against a Mirror Entity, but not against a Fatigue Mage or Duplicate Mage or whatever you will call it, or Molten Giant Mage.
So now we're looking at, interesting to see, looks to dropping the Sun Fury and ping what the Zombie Chow or what.
Oh, that seems like the only reasonable option here.
This sets up so well for the Blackwing, though. It's probably about the strongest card when you have, in my opinion, the best 5-drop when you have the dragon on board.
Yeah,
it's just
if you
so
have dragon.
devastating. Yeah.
Wow, look at that. There's a Jaraxxus in StrifeCro's deck.
Oh wow. Maybe
I
the
didn't
idea there
suspect
is
it at all.
maybe the idea there is just to go for I guess to counter the control warrior. Or possibly priest. I mean, Stancifka is technically playing priest, so that might actually come in really handy.
Yeah, that's true. But isn't this deck already super powerful against priest?
It really is, yeah. It's kind of like all the tempo decks comboing into a burst. You can just kind of hang back and then you know burst the priest, because the priest isn't really good at putting on pressure. It's
It's-
better at dealing with pressure.
It's not even good at healing.
That's actually true. Yeah, you'd definitely rather be a warlock in that case.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny having warlock as
Yeah, it
the
is.
#1 healing class here?
Well, I think like the best card when it comes to healing is Shield Slam. I mean Shield Block, because it heals for
Yeah.
5. It can be more than 30. You can be at you can be capping at 30, and then you have a card draw. So it's a cantrip which can heal you over 30, and you know it has a synergy with armor too. So I think this is definitely the best healing card in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, if he mortal coils the acolyte, you actually see one overdraw. Yeah, if he mortal coils here, ooh, wow, what a draw here! Emperor is the perfect card for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have a Soulfire and Dark Bomb already in hand. So turn 9 is 9, 12, 17 damage just from hand.
I've got to say, I actually like just mortal coiling the acolyte of pain here and then attacking into it. Overdrawing 1. I mean, it could be a crucial left fast or something like that.
There's already, an ice block already set up, right?
Mhm.
So,
There is.
You might think about cutting him down to as low as possible, but then if StrifeCro doesn't know that this is a Molten Giant Mage, it might backfire.
Indeed, yeah. Because he's not playing around it at all here. It seems
Yep.
just going for phase. I mean, it's also a good idea. It kind of
Flamestrike with
depends.
a coin. Well, you can play Molten Giant, coin Flamestrike, and be at 13 life. I guess that's a good idea, right?
Yeah, I kind of like that. What about Blizzard though? In this case, like,
Molten Giant into Blizzard.
Mhm.
So you keep the coin. So what do you need the coin for? Turn 7 will be probably Flamestrike anyway, right? And
it'd be possible to like be possible to I guess like ice block and heal bot.
wait, why Flamestrike first?
Okay, maybe one wants to save for the echo or a taunt or something, but I think.
Wait, why? Why? I don't see a point. Well, maybe because StrifeCro's deck is usually playing 2 big game hunters, right?
A lot of people have been going, yeah, 1 abusive and 1 big game. So you can actually like big game hunter a Thorazan or a Lothep or something like that for a lot of effect. So he maybe wants to, still mimic that this is still mimic a freeze mage, I guess. So that may be his plan and then surprise him later on. But this seems like an obvious Emperor turn here.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't like the idea of not playing the Molten Giant when you actually can do it. Because your hand sucks anyway, and you're put on pressure because I'm sure he's aware that there will be threats coming, and your only option here is just to drop, like Cone of Cold into Arcane Intellect, and you're not pressuring the mage at all. I mean, you're not pressuring the warlock at all, and this might be a problem if you just make your opponent do whatever he wants, because there's a pressure.
So it drops the abusive. You could actually play for Zero mana next turn. I'm wondering. Interesting one to me to drop the abusive as well.
Maybe he wants the diversification of damage, because you can split it by 5 and 2, and not just by 7-0.
Yeah, that's true. So we should be pretty close to lethal in this case, yeah. Or I guess popping the block. I mean, he could technically, he could do that pretty easily. Let's say Malygos, he could Mortal Coil the Emperor, and then he could push for lethal. But would essentially come down to what the Soulfire discards. Maybe it's just better to, I still kind of like that. You want to discard Lord Jiraxis, but overall,
I think you can discard whatever at this point. Like, you will also draw on card from Mortal Coil.
yeah. Thinking in terms of that, he
Blackwing
needs what,
Corruptor is also useless. I mean, less useless than other cards.
Yeah, like I think that's probably the only way to actually both pop the block. Maybe you can, yeah.
He's not going for it. Interesting. He's going just for the trade with the Abusive Sergeant. And dealing 3 damage, 6. Oh, he's going for the... Wait. Does this make any sense?
This is just more likely to discard the Jiraxis, yeah, and more likely to discard the Malygos. Like, you'd rather have a developed Malygos than a Blackwing. He missed the fake image, so that's lucky at least. But it was unnecessarily risky, I'd say, from StrifeCro there.
Because you had a 9 damage Soulfire, right? And
yeah.
This is exact. This is 4, 8, 11 damage. So you just lost 2 damage, but you still would have the same damage because you don't have to trade the Abusive Sergeant.
I think the key thing is it's more likely to discard Jiraxis.
Yeah, that's very true. But also you don't have Malygos developed on board. Instead, you have a 5/4.
You don't have the option to leave both an Emperor and the Malygos. At this point, you know, Stancifka, who's at the bottom playing the mage, is probably more likely to just, you know, say, I don't really care about the Emperor, you can have the Emperor, you only have a few cards left anyway. But she now seems to be the Molten turn. Wonder if it's going to be like a Cone of Cold
Well, he saw 2 Dark Bombs and a Soulfire. And 2 Blackwing Corruptors, right? Or just 1? No, just 1. So the only options of bursting him down from this point is the second Soulfire. I mean, yeah, the second Soulfire or a Hellfire. Oh, he actually drew that.
Oof. That's actually, yeah. I mean, let's say he goes for the Hellfire now. Then we have double heal bot from Stancifka. And yeah, I mean, let's say that if we turn this around and StrifeCro actually had, let's say, you know, a Dark Bomb in hand and a Malygos on the board, this would be so much easier.
Yeah, it would have been really easy to clean this. Because your Hellfire would have dealt 8 damage. So you just clean the board with a single Hellfire, and your Malygos is still alive and popping the block.
Okay, let's say he can go for Malygos into Mortal Coil. He could possibly draw into a Dark Bomb. That would really help him out. The big game is gone, so that's a bit of a...
Well, you have to play the Hellfire anyway, so you're practically almost dead, but StrifeCro at this point will certainly know that there's no option of bursting him down, even from for 2 damage, because there's almost no damage, no instant damage from the mage. There's no fireballs. I think there are no frostbolts in this deck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling like, you know, Stancifka is probably quite likely to just go face and ignore the Emperor, drop double heal bot perhaps, and...
Well, he can ping it, right?
Yeah.
And it's still dead.
Yeah, you can... Yeah, I mean, he then doesn't have enough mana for the second heal bot. Very good taunt, heal bot, and ping. Yeah, that's also really good.
Do you need the... do you need the second heal bot? I don't think so.
I think 1 is enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Depends how safe he wants to get. I mean... But we see from StrifeCro the option to, you know, go Malygos double Mortal Coil, gets 3 draws on that turn at least. Should draw into something of use. Ooh, the Frostbolt, that's gonna seal it here. So Stancifka going 2-0 up, a possible upset. I mean, Stancifka has been playing excellent the past few months, but still beating StrifeCro here would be...
Oh, that is a puzzle.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I think that StrifeCro misplayed really hard with that turn when he didn't play the Malygos. Like, we talked a lot about that turn. The Mortal Coil for 0 mana that kills an Emperor and draws a card, and then you have still your Abusive Sergeant on board with a Soulfire for 0 mana, 9 damage that discards 1 card, and you probably will have still 1 Dark Bomb in your hand, probably means game. And this situation is the complete opposite, because he drained his hand really badly.
I think we have to give Stancifka a lot of... a lot of respect for that game. I think he played it excellent with the mates there. Very cautious, very, I guess, you know, tempo-oriented. He didn't throw away the Acolyte when he didn't need to, drew well. I kind of liked his play overall a lot. So he's 2 up, only has the Priest left. I mean, in general, Priest is supposed to be maybe bottom 2 classes in terms of conquest. It's usually, Priest and Shaman that are at the bottom. So
Yeah.
I think if StrifeCro were to pull an upset here and turn this around, from a 2-0, it would be against the Priest, I'd say.
Yeah, I guess that might be the situation here. But still, we don't know the exact build of the Priest, so there will be some unknown factors. But by the way, what do you think about that turn when Stancifka didn't play the Molten Giant?
It's interesting. I actually haven't played Akumates a ton, so I think I definitely give him the benefit of the doubt because I'm not entirely sure. I think it'd probably be played. I guess there's maybe a 10% chance that he didn't count the Zombie Chow in, and maybe 90% chance that he just wanted to get the Echo or bigger surprise because he gives away the whole part of the deck with that play. But
yeah, maybe that's a good point.
It really did turn out well for him though, because I guess the StrifeCro discarding the big game hunter with the Soulfire, maybe not something you planned for in the Stancifka case, but it didn't turn out great. So we see, we have the Malicos Warlock left for StrifeCro. That should be pretty decent against Priest, like maybe 70% chance to win. We have a Hunt we don't know about. That could be, I guess. What do you feel about the mid-range Hunter versus Priest in general?
It depends so much on the Priest build. Like, this the Light Bomb can be pretty crucial in this matchup because it kills almost every single minion, like Low Tip, Savannah High mains, the Hyenas from the Savannah High mains, Mad Scientist, Houndmaster, and what else do we have? Dr. Boom is being killed by that, and we actually see Light Bomb already in the hand.
Now he is... we see Stancifka, maybe he's pulling a Colento, but this looks to be... we have the Circle of Healing. I think
and he has one Light of Narrow, at least, in his deck. I think that's an excellent card.
It really is. I think this should be maybe more of a conventional Priest with maybe one Light Bomb instead of the full-out Chinese version with Death Lords and like double Light Bomb. In general, though, he needed to draw a lot of, I guess, like a Noshia Cleric and really get this zooming, because he will need a lot of tempo over value. I think StrifeCro probably won't be able to kill Stancifka for a while, but Stancifka will also not be able to kill StrifeCro for a while, and if it goes into late game, nothing can really trump the Malicos combo.
That's true. That's very true, and Priest probably won't be able to keep his health above 20 at some point of the game, and this is really easily boosted down by the Malicos Warlock.
Absolutely, here we see an Asher Drake from StrifeCro. I think it should be a fairly easy tap here.
Yeah, but you might have some, might give your opponent a perception of you having choices.
Yeah, waiting out, yeah. You sometimes want to do that, I guess. It doesn't pan out if you like playing Hunter on turn 1 and you don't drop a 1-drop, but in this case, yeah, definitely could give you the impression that he might be running some 2-drop here. Now, in general, does it change anything? I think he still may have to pass it up.
Yeah, this seems really weak. Because if you play your Shrinkmeister, you have to power shield it just to be, above the range of a single Dark Bomb, but then you know that this deck plays double Mortal Coils, and this is just like a spell power for you.
I mean, if you look at the minions that he could steal, he could technically steal Malicos in the late game with Shrinkmaster and Cabal. Wouldn't that be something? On the other hand, I mean, he could steal Imp Gang Boss quite easily, just with the, I guess, just with the Cabal there. We do see it coming down, and it did turn out quite horribly last time around for StrifeCro when he played that card. Maybe be a little bit better now. Organized Horde Priest, okay, this is going to be great. At least against the Flamvicar later on,
Yeah, that's very true.
But if he's going to win a match, he'll have to win it right now, I think. Yeah, because it's going to be kind of over if Draco doesn't pull this one up. But he has chosen the strongest deck first, and I mean, maybe his idea, it's not as complicated when you're playing this Malicos what to keep, I guess, against Priest. No, nothing on turn 4 again. really. He may just have to coin out the Azure deck, but if he coins out the Azure deck, he can't go for the Blackwing Corruptor.
So why not Blackwing Corruptor then?
That's actually
Well, the problem with Blackwing Corruptor is the fact that it's weak to Shadow Word Dev, so Azure deck will be better. But then, well, you're the same. You are same weak as to Shadow Word Dev as with the Blackwing Corruptor to a Circle of Healing Aukenai. So I'm not sure, to be honest. Like this is a tricky turn what to play here. It might feel like a easy decision for the player, but it actually isn't.
Not at all. Yeah, passing is often not the correct call. Now we see combo seems to be coming down. Could this be just a little bit impatient? There are 2 Cabals. It would be nice to steal something, but do we see a dragon coming down? No dragon. He had one more. Like if he had an abusive or something here. I think you have to kill the Soul Priest. Maybe he might end up just tapping. And then Dark Bomb, but that's kind of slow.
Yeah, this is I don't know. This is one of the turns when it actually feels like nothing is potentially good or the best.
I think that's what really shows the strength of the player, making those tough calls. It's easy to drop Dark Bomb, to drop Dr. Boom on turn 7, but these sort of turns can be a lot trickier now.
Or when you play Handlock and turn 4 Twilight Drake, turn 5 tap into Giant, turn 6 into Emperor, turn 7 into Dr. Boom. Everyone can play that, right? But if you don't draw your biggest threats that are just carrying the game, then you have to make those tricky decisions.
Now I would have thought that Stancifka might be a bit inclined to just Cabal that 1/1. I mean, you get something, you have a second Cabal for later. You need to be in kind of a hurry against Marilok, because you don't want to go into the late game. If he ends up drawing, like, let's say the Emperor now, he would have to waste the Light Bomb on that, which is definitely not what he wants to do. Now this is also quite tricky. I mean, you don't really want to go for the Sylvanas, and you would have rather gone for the Cabal last turn. He can technically just go Aukenai, like Light of the Naru, and kill the Belcher with the hero power. Wouldn't hate that, but then the Circle of Healing kind of goes to it later on.
Yeah.
He may just actually have to just pass this up again, because next turn he could technically steal the Slot Belcher with Shrinkmaster and Cabal.
Yeah, it seems like the best plan, but the problem is, what if StrifeCro drops like a really big bomb on turn 7?
Yeah, I mean,
what do you do then?
Emperor will be massive.
Exactly. Then you have to respond with Light Bomb, or let's say if there's like a Dr. Boom, then it's really easy because you have to Light Bomb anyway. But if you want to save that for turn 8, then you have to do something else this turn also. And I think that's like the best option here, to drop the Aukenai. So I really like that a lot. It's also the point of the game when you really don't need the healing at all. So Aukenai is not a liability at this state of the game.
Absolutely here, but this seems like a good turn for Hellfire. We do see a really slow hand here from StrifeCro. I guess you could have the option of just running only one of the minions into the Aukenai and then going for Mortal Coil as well, drawing an extra card. That wouldn't be too bad, I think. Let's look at other options. He goes for the Defender. You can kill the Lightbringer and then kind of content the Aukenai, but it's not enough.
Yeah, definitely the lack of dragon is an important factor here. Imagine if he would have the dragon in hand, this would be so easy.
Absolutely, yeah. I still like the Hellfire, I have to say. Go for the Hellfire and the Mortal Coil.
Yeah.
Definitely in a hurry for the... definitely in a big hurry for the Malekos. No tap though.
Well, no tap because he was at 9 cards.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, a second Belcher, so this one... well, this is not easily removable for the Warlock.
Conventionally should be, but in this case, yeah, it's a bit different. He could guess use Implosion, but he will have to hit a 4 to get anything done. May this just be a sad turn where he drops the Blackwing?
No, this is painful.
May just be forced to drop the Defender, but that'll play so badly into the...
Nah, Defender feels really weak.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah.
But every player is weak in this case.
that's true. This is really sad. This is really sad when it comes to outcome of how the turns are playing out for StrifeCro. But still, he didn't draw any single of his win conditions, and Priest is not pressuring him enough. Anyway,
I think in this case the Cabal has to come down. I wouldn't see a scenario where Cabal doesn't come down with the Owl. He could heal as well up, and that'll be 8 mana. You can heal the Belcher. Not too bad in that case. I mean, Sylvanas doesn't make any sense, and either that or just passing. I think since he has the second Cabal, he's always gonna get decent value against this type of Warlock, but doesn't want to wait forever.
What do you think about ignoring the imps and just going for phase with 3 damage hitting the Belcher? Because there's nothing there's almost no synergy for this type of deck for the imps. So basically just
the Argus and the
3 damage, right?
It's true,
and
yeah.
The one imp will kill the Owl anyway.
I guess possibly there's like an idea where you could, he could possibly let's say something with Shadow Flame. It's a tough one though still. Now we do see the Maligos drawn.
And this is also a huge deal because now the Blackwing Corruptors actually are doing something.
I kind of would have liked him to Blackwing one of the big minions and use the Mortal Coil on that. He can clear one of them at least, so this is maybe not too bad. He drops the big game.
Oh, he has a second one. And it's probably not so useful against a Priest anyway.
It's true, yeah. Playing well, I guess, around the Shadow Madness here. You can technically, I guess, he could go for Shrinkmeister on the Blackwing and then Shadow Madness the Blackwing into the big game hunter. That would be actually not bad. Yeah.
What about Shrinkmeister the big game hunter and just Acolyte it? And then you trade for the Blackwing.
So that's not bad as well.
You saw one Hellfire, and almost everyone is aware that there's only one Hellfire in the Warlock stacks that are being played with Malagos. So the other option to clear those is either Dark Bombs, and you saw one, and Shadow Flame. Because no one will use Soulfire.
Let's look at the board state after the play. So if you go for the Shrinkmeister and Shadow Madness, the end state will be a Shrinkmeister and a Cabal. And if you go for the other way around, the end state will essentially be a 4-2 and the Shrinkmeister. So the end state should be stronger with the Shadow Madness. But now him going for the Light Bomb kind of suggests that he has a second Light Bomb, I would have thought.
Yeah, but you can also think that there's like Malagos is not really weak to Light Bomb, Twilight Drakes are not weak to Light Bombs, Belchers are not weak to Light Bombs, so there are not so many targets that are actually killable by the Light Bomb.
That's true, and now we will see exactly what Stancifka was waiting for. Shrinkmeister, Cabal for the win. I mean, Sylvanas wouldn't be bad, but it's way riskier here.
Yeah. The problem is that there's a second silence.
There is, but then there will be no silence left for the Sylvanas.
For the Sylvanas, yeah, that's a good point.
But a huge swing here for Stancifka, and he's looking good, honestly, in game number 3.
Ooh, Emperor. But you're lacking Soulfires. 3, 6, 8 cards. So you can actually tap first. Do you? Well, you can silence the Twilight Drake and just Shadow Flame instead. Instead of the Emperor, I mean. Oh, because I was thinking about, just dropping the Emperor and drawing a card, so you can maybe draw a Soulfire or Dark Bomb for next turn with Malagos.
Yeah, I think StrifeCro is in I guess no hurry. He should be pretty safe at 17, so I kind of like the Owl there. And the
Owl into Shadow Flame?
Yeah. That's a tap. He really wants to use the Emperor if possible. So yeah, this is a bit of a tough one. Could he maybe content with just Shadow Flaming the Blackwing and going for the Emperor. I actually like the Owl better. Is he going for Defender and then Shadow Flame? Oh, this is not bad either. Yeah, I actually prefer this. Nice play with StrifeCro. Yeah, there.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're not losing the Owl, the last silence in your deck.
It might come in really handy later on. Now, a bit of a sad state for Stancifka here. This was his big swing. He's got the Belcher, but the Belcher doesn't feel strong here at all. I mean, he can't go for the Sylvanas, but it's Belcher or nothing, and he goes for the Belcher.
I guess.
Yeah, this should be like the obvious Emperor turn, but...
Is it? You don't have really any parts of the combo. I might actually see Azure Drake here instead. Well, sorry, you have the Dark Bomb. No, never mind.
Really, it's not ideal. There's no Soulfire or, I guess, Mortal Coil left. I think the Owl is very interesting.
That he dropped it now, right?
Yeah, you could play for one next turn. That wouldn't be bad. Let's look at the options for Stancifka here. You can clear the Emperor with Holy Nova. You could technically use the Shadow Madness, but you can't drop the Dr. Boom with either of those. Definitely, you cannot leave the Emperor up. It's just impossible that he leaves the Emperor up. He also really wants to, yeah. Maybe like silence the Emperor. Maybe that's the right call here. Draw Sylvanas, silence the Emperor. Go face.
It's interesting that Stanisław is using the 0 mana silence, so my guess is that he's using also Pyromancer in his deck?
I definitely think so, yeah. We saw the Powered Shield earlier as well, so this is, I guess, more of a conventional one with a few new twists, like the Light Bomb.
So he goes for the Holy Nova, it seems so. Or not?
I think Shadow Madness is, yeah. I mean, you've seen one Belcher so far with StrifeCro.
And usually there's only one.
No, he must be slightly afraid of the mind control. I think, yeah.
That's a good point, I didn't think about it.
Can you imagine, mind controlling the Maligos and then going for a Holy Nova? How insane that would be. Yeah. I'm still waiting for the healing power stat to come out.
Increases? Yeah. In my opinion, the spell power should increase healing too.
I guess so, or like I remember Crip was talking about it in a recent video about like buffing Dalaran Mage to a 2/4.
Yeah.
I think that actually might get like limited play. It might be played like doesn't seem horrible, go for a 2/4 with a spell damage. I could see that being played in Rogue, for example, as like an alternative.
Rogue or Warlock?
Yeah, Warlock as well, yeah. Could actually contend the Imgang boss in a few scenarios.
That's true. That's very true.
Now,
but in this situation, how much damage is that? That's 8 damage from Dark Bomb and 9 damage from Soulfire. So that's 17, 21, 25. 5 of lethal.
He definitely wants to burst it all down, but
I guess you can just go face with everything. Play the Abusive Sergeant for additional 2 damage, and just heal with the heal bot.
You could technically also like this, like BGH the Sylvanas.
Oh, look at that, Implosion. So you can just go face.
Wait, Implosion, Abusive, and BGH on the yeah.
But there's not enough mana for that, but I like this.
Well, it's 2 for the BGH, so it would have been 8 mana before the heal bot there.
But I still like this play because there's no way of sacrificing the Sylvanas unless you...
Yeah, you need the second Light Bomb essentially, to get Kurivali out of the Sylvanas, that's true. But nothing of that sort here for...
But the single Light Bomb wouldn't be so useful also. Like you would have to attack into the 2/4, then to Light Bomb, because then you kill the 1/1 that was spawned from the attacks, you technically get the Twilight Drake, but that's like, uncommon scenario, I would say.
Yeah, that's true. It's getting really close, but I do think it's just calming down and playing this a bit slow is just the way to go here for StrifeCro. Does trade in. Interesting. Must be getting a little bit worried. But that's gonna actually do it, so StrifeCro draws the final card in this deck and is gonna be taking game number 3 here. Closing it down to a 2-1 lead for Stancifka.
Yep. So I'm really guessing here, but I think that the priest might be a really weak link in Stancifka's lineup. We'll see how it goes against Hunter, because this will be also a hard matchup for the priest.
The Deathlord will be a key card, I'd say. We haven't seen this so far.
Uses,
I mean, the Pyromancer,
yeah. Because there's like he plays. I'm guessing that when he's playing a Light of Naru, that he's also playing Injured Blade Masters, because this card is really the best with the Injured Blade Master, because you don't have to draw the Circle of Healing with the perfect combo of Priestess, but you also have the possibility to play 10-4 Injured Blade Master into Light of Naru to spawn additional minion and still have a 4-6 on board, which is super powerful.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't be seeing a Valence or Gilblin in this case. Be interested to see how it goes down in the end. I'd maybe give him like a 50-50 if it's a Hybrid Hunter. For yeah. And then against, we have the last deck as being Flamewake out. Probably give the Priest the edge there, maybe a 60% edge for the Priest. So this might actually get a bit close here. Definitely not over so far, yeah. I mean, 2-1 for Stancifka. Interesting choice to bring, interesting to bring this deck to the tournament. I really wouldn't have guessed it, at least, considering the metagame. I mean, it would be decent against Patron, but I can't see it being good against many other decks. Well,
we'll have to see in a second, because right now, what StrifeCro has gained by this match is the huge amount of information about Priest. And, as you said before, the Warlock didn't really require any kind of information on your opponent's deck, because you probably will keep the usual cards as always, so there's no difference. And when you play against a priest with an aggro deck, the information that are given to you are way more valuable.
So now here in game 4, I want to point out a few key things. The biggest thing is the StrifeCro, who's playing the mates. He's playing the mates here, and Stancifka is on the priest. The StrifeCro on the mates here doesn't have the coin.
Yeah.
And we also see the Shadowwood Pain from Stancifka as the priest here, and that can be used to just annihilate the Flamemaker.
Yeah, that's true.
Overall, not the bad start here. Not the best start for Stancifka. I mean, Clockgnome into the Mad Scientist.
For StrifeCro, I mean.
Yeah. No, yeah, StrifeCro, yeah. It's a bit reversed, the overlay here. It's supposed to be the StrifeCro on the mage.
But this is a great start for Sivka. Pyromancer Coin Shield is so powerful.
Now all he will need is something to run into the secret here. It's sometimes there's sometimes like some ideas if if it's going to be a counter spell or a mirror entity, but in this case, if he sees a mechanical area, which he has seen, it's 100% going to be a mirror entity. Flame Cannon coming down, but it's not the best target for it. Bit desperate, I'd say here. Might be a bit interesting, since he's facing a priest. If Stancifka would just go for like a reversing switch on the Flamemaker, because then technically he can't be killed by either Shadowwood Death or Shadowwood Pain. But mechanical area, much stronger choice because there's no minion on board to be hit by the Flamemaker ability. Now we see not much happening for Stancifka here with the priest.
But he got the Antonidas from the Fault Stealer. Well, the Silence might come in handy. It's a 0-mana spell card, but that can be used for the Antonidas to spawn a Fireball. He's missing Circle of Healing and Light of Naru for the Injured Blade Master.
I think in this case you may possibly even have to go just even
Sorcerer's Apprentice?
You have to drop something, because you have so much value. Yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't like the Shadow of the Pain. The reason being because you can't really deal with the Flamewaker if he goes for, let's say, a mirror image here.
It's true.
So we do see 5 mana. He may be forced to go for a second Mechanical Yeti. I don't like Flamewaker here. I think he may need to wait one more turn. Get maybe a spare part from the or second spare part from the.
Yeah, I agree completely with you here. Waiting for the Flamewaker and such matchup can be really crucial. Just to gain most tempo out of it.
He kills the minion. There may possibly be to play on the Valence Chosen, which would be devastating in the situation. But it's been kind of hinted at that Stancifka is not running that one actually. But now we see. Well, I would have thought to be Slot Belcher happening now on turn 5. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either.
Well, it fits the curve.
Yeah, it does fit the curve, yeah. And in this case, it's kind of like I was watching during the Maximum. There was a player that just got the most insane curve. It was a Wild Growth into Keeper, into Loatheb, into Emperor. And he had like Ancient of Lore as well. So then in that case, he figures, okay, I have a complete curve. I'll actually just like Keeper face. Because I'm not going to be able to play the Keeper for 5 or 6 rounds. And by that point, I would have played, a Ancient of Lore already and drawn more cards. So, you don't want to be stuck with like at the end of the game with like 5 cards in hand as a Druid. And I guess Stancifka figures the same. Against an aggressive deck like this, you don't want to be stuck at the end of the game with, 5 cards in hand. So playing really aggressive. And I like that play a lot.
Fair point. Second one of them. Do you play it? Against well, it has 3 HP, so it's not an easy target for the priest.
I actually kind of like just running the injured Yeti in and pinging, but actually that's what he's playing around here.
Okay, so now there's a Circle of Healing for the Ancient Blade Master, but it's also turn 6, and you can use the Circle of Healing on turn 7 of Antonidas. You have 2 free spells. So you can just drop Antonidas, silence something, and then play Circle of Healing, and you have 2 fireballs.
It's true, yeah. But does he actually need fireballs right now? I think he's quite anxious to. He's gonna save it, okay. So Architect is coming down. He wants to really wait for a good burst here with the Flamewaker. I don't blame him, as soon as the Flamewaker comes down, there should be an AoE clear from Stancifka. As he's seen, 2 Orchid Knights and a Light Bomb, but none of that in Stancifka's hand. So I'm not sure if StrifeCro sniffs out the weakness from Stancifka right now.
Yep. So you need to somehow kill the Belcher, but if you do it with your Yeti, then it's left on 1 HP, which is really easy for the priest to deal with, especially when you know that there's an Pyromancer variant of priest.
Absolutely here. I mean, maybe he figures that he'll just have to suck up this first huge AoE and then drop the Flamewaker for a huge amount of burst. But we look, the Holy Nova is coming down. There's possibilities, I guess. He could go like Wild Pyromancer, silence the Yeti, putting that down to 3, and then Holy Nova. But what about like Wild Pyromancer, silence Taunt, or possibly just like a 3-spell combo with Antonidas? I think I like the clear better than Antonidas at this point.
What about Dr. Boom?
That's also an option, yeah. Like my fear as Stancifka would be, I guess, just if we see the maybe a fireball or 2.
But this is still just 11 damage when you're almost at the top. So I don't know.
It's true, but it can get so quickly out of hand here. Like Coolant, that's an excellent draw.
That's like the best one. Actually, this is the best one to draw in this situation.
It's kind of funny that a frozen A Frozen Drake is now taking fire damage and still remaining solid. Yeah.
So it should be melted down.
Absolutely, yeah.
I guess this is the Flamewaker turn.
It seems like that's gonna be the case. I mean, he can't leave this Pyromancer alive, and he can basically cast everything right now.
Wow, he's going for the nuts. Cast everything, and this might be really painful. There will be like a single light bomb. Neptulon. Wow.
That's not bad at all here.
This might be very important in this game because it allows this StrifeCro to reload his hand, and as we can see, he's running out of steam.
The version sheets on the Drake, I really like that. On play, I'm wondering if he's gonna go for the mirror image. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I don't think so too. He knows that he's playing Antonidas, that drawing an Antonidas on turn 9 with 2 spells for 1 mana might be so important. But he goes for it anyway. I'm really curious why he's doing that.
I mean, it's weaker to Light Bomb, we see now, yeah.
Well, it's not so weak for Light Bomb because now the Azure Drake is 2/4 instead of 4/2, so it doesn't die. So Light Bomb only kills 3 creatures anyway.
Yeah, but I was thinking about the mana bomb being 2 attack, but it was actually 3 attack for the. But now, okay, let's see Light Bomb. It leaves the Flamewaker alive, the Azure Drake, and the Mirror Entities. That's not enough. He could technically can silence the Azure Drake, then Light Bomb, and then only the Flamewaker and the Mirror Entities stay alive. Let's think. Yeah, that probably be about it, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, technically, yeah. This is kind of a slow hand from.
Wait. Why would you silence the Drake?
To kill it with the Light Bomb. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't see the interaction with the reverse switch. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah. No worries there. We do see a Fireball. That's a good draw. He kind of has to figure though that it's gonna be now or never, and I would be very surprised if the armor plating doesn't come down on the. Yeah. Oh,
actually, that's a really good draw.
He can keep going in now for like 3 turns at least, you know, without running out of steam. Let's see.
So, what about just dropping the 3/2 and pink face? I mean the little Murloc, you know, because it's not. I think you want to get that. Yeah. You can pressure your opponent with next turn with your War Leader, but then it's kind of weak to Holy Nova.
I think you want to armor plate to play around Holy Nova though. I do feel, yeah, I kind of do feel that. What about? I think maybe like Cold Light Seer plus armor plating. Then you
actually this is the best option here because he saw 2 Pyromancers. He saw a Light Bomb, so unless there's an additional AoE effect, the Murlocs are not killable at all.
It's true, but now he lost the Freeze Mate. Now he lost the Flamewaker, yeah. Alright, let's see now. Bit of a swing, but this is really evening out. I could see the Mirror being devastating at this point.
Well, I think you just go for the Murlocs in this situation, when you have the most synergy, you know?
Yeah, it's true. He can actually, yeah. It's obviously hard for StrifeCro to know the hand, but he seems to be taking a lead in this game.
Yeah, that's so funny, you know? Really, because the Murlocs are perfectly synergizing with each other in this situation.
Absolutely. Now, is there any merit to going maybe for the armor plate on the 4/4?
Why not on the Warlock leader? Doesn't die to anything.
I'm thinking about like a second Okanai being a possibility, but he's seen one so far, so it's, the Cabal does nothing. Is this actually just going to be lethal here? I can't see a way for him to get out of this. Yeah. This is actually just lethal here. So StrifeCro pulling a bit of an upset here in game number 4.
I thought that Stancifka has that, and then Unstable Portal happened.
Indeed, yeah. Neptulon really pulling out everything here. You can imagine he got 2 draw out of it.
11,
he got
16, yeah.
You're gonna fireball his own face for BM? He's too
Probably
mannered.
not.
That's a nice guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
This game, that was like the single unstable portal just carried the whole game. Because imagine if that would be a 2/2 minion, 3/2 minion, or just a 2/3, whatever, just vanilla minion without any real effect. Because you just change a 2-mana spell into a better innovate for a 7/7 minion that draws you 4 cards that have synergy with each other. It's really insane.
Looking at the match, you feel it's kind of even, I guess, if you lose the first game. You feel slightly better about winning, but you aren't really upset if you lose the first game. If you lose the second one, it's panic mode in general in the best of 5.
Yeah.
And if you take 1-1 back, it's still the advantage of the guy that's 2-1 up because he has to lose 2 in a row. But now if it goes to game 5 to being up 2-0, you really are in a lot of trouble as the guy who just lost, So I feel like StrifeCro has all the tempo now, and I'd much rather be in his position. He's playing Hunter now against the Priest, and I mean, anything can happen. Generally, it's supposed to be slightly stronger for the Priest, but on a good draw, StrifeCro can definitely just pull this through. I think the key card would be the Eaglehorn bow, actually, from StrifeCro.
Eaglehorn bow is a good point, and Hunter's Mark also will be important in case there will be an injured Blade Master, because most of the time, the Hunter will have a problem with a huge minion, and that will be on board and just trading for those little minions, unless there will be a freezing trap too. So, few important draws for the Hunter, but the Priest is put on pressure here, so it's more important for the Priest to get a good draw than for the Hunter.
It is, yeah, and we see what looks to be here a hybrid Hunter. We see nothing on turn 1 from Stancifka, but he has the coin and the Pyromancer, so not a bad hand, but not overly strong. I would actually give the favor here to Stancifka. Now, thing to note that StrifeCro didn't have Medivh or Alleria. I think probably because this should be played on EU, I guess, and he's more of an NA player now. This still, yeah. I think maybe Shrinkmeister might be okay here.
What about Pyromancer, coin, Power Shield? You put a minion, but it's kind of weak to the weapon, so maybe you should wait for that.
Yeah, I think he'd rather just like kill 2 minions with that. I think healing or the Shrinkmeister would both be good. I think healing is probably safer when you think about it, because he could have Glaive Suka or something, but or Quickshot even. It's more realistic case considering the hand right now. Now, abusive coming down, aggressive. He has to be quite aggressive. Now, I played Hybrid Hunter this weekend, and it did really well overall. I think the key thing is that you have to be able to change gears midway, So if you have, let's say, a Paladin Sphere into Lothab into Savannah, you play this kind of like a control deck, like you're playing Mid Hunter almost. But if you are playing, if you have a abusive and you have, abusive could be played either way, but like Wolffighter and like Kill Command and Arcane Golem, you just have to play this like a Face Hunter, really. So it's kind of the middle of the way here for StrifeCro. Actually, kind of a rough situation. He doesn't really want to use the Paladin Sweater because you can trade in, but it's probably stronger than using the Quickshot and Hero Power.
It's probably stronger, but the problem might be a second Power Shield, and this might be the factor here. Because a second Power Shield and a heal means the Pyromancer will just trade with whatever.
Also, I guess, a rare scenario is the Shrinkmaster that is actually in Stancifka's hand, because he could shrink that Paladin Zero down to a 2-2 or 2-3 and kill it with the Pyromancer for a huge tempo.
Yeah. And even coin out and heal the Pyromancer.
Actually, yeah.
This is a really tough decision. He goes for the Paladin Shredder, so really a risky option here. And to be honest, I'm trying to change my game plan. Game style when it comes to being aggressive and passive. But I feel like the more safer plan here was the key.
I think it comes down to, again, the idea from StarCraft, where you definitely, like, if you're ahead, you want to take fewer risks. If you're behind, you don't want to take risks at all here. But now
and the 1/1 drop from the Paladin Shredder is just painful. so
I think it's
painful
just
for
I think it's just a
StrifeCro.
heal on just a lesser heal on the wild Pyromancer there. Now he does have the owl, and Animal Companion plus Quickshot would be quite strong. I think that's probably gonna come down. I mean, Liak would be excellent, Misha would be excellent. Could clear with both of those. If he gets the Huffer, he can also clear, but wouldn't be as strong. But overall, yeah. I think Animal Companion is definitely the way to go in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's okay. I think there's no other option here.
I mean, if he gets the Huffer, he may even need to skip the Quickshot and just go full face, you know, like Quickshot later on, just go face with the Huffer, face with the 1/1 and hero power face, you know, for 7 damage.
Yeah, I guess that would be an okay option here. Otherwise,
really,
if you get the Leok, then you have to trade, which kind of sucks.
That's true, and you kind of have to use the Quickshot if it's a Misha as well, because you could get really out of hand. Use the Hounds, wow.
Well, I didn't suspect that, to be honest. And he goes face with everything. No, I thought so, but it looked like the arrow of the Quickshot would have targeted its face.
I think this is just straight up weaker than an Animal Companion. Gotta say, I mean, he's not going to get a lot of value out of Unleash the Hounds anyway in this matchup, but a Liak could have been massive.
Well, maybe not, because there's a coin Cabal Shadow Priest, and then you lose the Leok for nothing.
It's actually true, yeah. We see the coin now, probably on the Hound, so you can charge him and get a full trade. 17 health for Stancifka. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. So,
Well, he has the Light of Naru, which can
That's
add
to make-
both as a save here, as a save plan, or as a finisher, because with Alkanai, that's 3 points of damage, so hero power, that's 5 damage burst.
Absolutely, here. With the Belcher and Light of the Naru, this seems to be swinging in Stancifka's favor. Definitely with the Pyromancer here.
If Stancifka gets a Leok here, that's just lose the game. Oh, we can see the outcome now. What is it? What is it? I'm not sure. Still not sure.
It's Misha, I think.
It might be Misha or Leok because there was no attack.
It's Misha, yeah.
It's Misha. Okay. That was really crucial for both players. Leok was just being devastating.
Oh, now I think Shadow Madness is definitely the call. Give
Yeah.
it 2 damage, heal face. It's also an option, I guess, to go like Slot Belcher, Light of the Naru. It's a possibility, but
I guess the Shadow Madness is great here, unless you want to save it for Mad Scientist or for Hunted Creeper, because then you get more creatures because you just bash the Hunted Creeper into his minion anyway and get the 2 Spectre Spiders. But do you want to wait for it when you have a decent situation to use it?
this is also not bad. I think the idea behind this is he's already seen an Unleash, and generally there's only one Unleash in the deck. Now, Bow coming down, he has the silence possibly for the Belcher. He will need something like a Quickshot now, I think.
Well, this is 5, so we will be at 10, 12 with the hero power. But he's getting 4, 8, 13 damage to turns. I don't think there's a way out for StrifeCro here.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
will be just out of range. Really easy with the hero power even.
I think, yeah, I mean, you generally, it's generally kind of likely that he'll get a Quickshot. A Quickshot into kill command might even be needed. I think that's one out that I see, but with the Light of the Naru and the healer, he'll go up to 15. Be painful to kill that, yeah. Probably wants to use the Belcher though. I think Belcher plus maybe just standard hero power heal. Run like
Well, if
the
you play the
Labyrinth,
Light
maybe?
of Naru, then you push for more damage next turn.
Oh yeah.
And I think
I mean, I'm just thinking, it's probably quite likely that we'll see like a Wolf, I don't know, I can call that be one way of getting back into it, but he's going for the Holy Nova. This is excellent considering what's in, StrifeCro's hand. I mean, probably the worst scenario in that case.
But still, 7 to minion is nothing to just ignore. It's like, wow. And you still have the additional burst with the Shadow Madness.
So now let's see if we silence the 7-2. Go and it's actually...
He's still dead.
Yeah, he's still dead. So Stancifka looks to be taking the series here, 3-2.
Yeah,
it's the worst feeling in the world when you lose a series after being up 2-0. So
definitely
a slight upset, but StrifeCro is definitely the guy to come back from a group.
But still, will be StrifeCro will have a chance to redeem himself because it's a double elimination group, so he'll be playing against the loser of the next match. But first, congratulations to Sivka for taking the game after gruesome match 3 and 4, which could have ended badly for him, but didn't.
Indeed, and now I think the key here was kind of the Warlock for StrifeCro. That seemed to be his strongest deck, and then Stancifka, I mean, his lineup looked excellent, save for that Priest. It looked a bit shaky overall. Now next up we're going to be seeing Kallax against Kolento. Should be an interesting match. I mean, those open qualifiers are brutal, but he's going to face Kolento, thought to be one of the best players in the world. So
Kolento was kind of struggling a little with the results lately, but he's still one of the best players in the world, so he has to be kind of intimidating for his opponents like every single time. But I guess the same goes for StrifeCro, and he is like one of the monsters in the game. And yeah, that's it. We'll be going into a 5-minute short break before the next match because it's almost ready. And see you guys shortly then.
esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation. esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone.